Welcome back to Storytime Tuesday. My name is Adam and this is Houston Strange. Today's story comes from Cirese. People say they don't believe in ghosts. As a young child, I couldn't tell the difference between the seen and the unseen. And we had a lot of unseen in our house. It was a little yellow and white house, sitting shyly behind a dandelion lawn in an ethnic neighborhood in Santa Barbara, California. It had a front door, a back door, a side yard where my mom would hang her wash, and all wood floors. Our house was different from other people's houses. My mother, an artist, applied her skill to decorating, as well as always having an easel up with oil paint and turpentine. To this day, if I smell turpentine, I smell a ghost. I first noticed our ghost, an angry man, in my bedroom, staring intently at my newborn brother, who was asleep in his cradle. I was staring out of the bars of my prison, the crib, when the ghost just picked my brother up and suspended him in midair. I was horrified and screamed for my mother, who came running just in time to see my little brother dropped into the cradle. The ghost seemed to especially dislike my mother, and he would tramp up and down the hallway in what had to be supernatural tap shoes, keeping her awake at night. Fed up, she would yell, "All right, I hear you," and the ghost would stop for the night. During the day, my mom would make us breakfast, paint, clean up, and in the summer especially, open the windows. The windows were old, and you needed to crank them to get them open. No sooner would my mom crank them open than the ghost would wind them back until they were shut. My mother and the ghost went through this time and time again until my mom finally just put something between the glass and the frame so that the window would stay open. The ghost, crafty fella that he was, moved the obstruction and the windows remained shut. As much as our ghost liked to have the windows closed, he loved to have the front door open. Every night my parents would read me a story, tuck me into bed, double lock the front door, and every single morning it would be wide open again, as if to say, "This way out." I recall one late night trapped in my crib as I watched the moonlight dance in my room and listened to the even breaths and sighs of my baby brother. 3 beings materialized beside my bed. These beings shimmered and pulsed and looked a lot like crystals, only man-sized. As I pulled myself to standing, the beings spoke. "Do not be frightened, child," they said without having mouths to say it. "We are the old ones." Then ensued what I thought was a very boring recitation of my lives past, present and future, and they promised they would return someday. "Go back to sleep, little one," they said. And so I did. One sunny day I was playing by running inside the hanging wet sheets on the laundry line when I heard what sounded like a faint wailing. Figuring it was just some sort of weird siren off in the distance, I ignored it for the most part, flapping my arms and pretending I was sailing on a ship through the long grass. But that wailing just kept getting louder and turned into a shriek. It just kept getting more and more deafening, and as I put my hands over my ears, I was swept up by my mother, who ran us both as fast as she could through the back door, through the mudroom, through the kitchen, and through the swinging door between the kitchen and the living room. By this time, the sound was as undeniable as a Banshee scream. That was when the kitchen window exploded. Glass shards went everywhere. They went into the cupboards opposite the window, they went into the back door, and they embedded in the still swinging door we'd just exited. We moved quite soon after that. So that story came from Cirese, or Cirese, sorry if I'm not saying that right. And they said they have a whole book of ghost stories coming out soon. So I'll keep you all updated whenever that book does come out, and I'll try and post a link somewhere and we can all go and buy it. But that story was wild. I wonder, was that screaming sound like a warning that the window was gonna break, or did the window break because of the sound? Or was it all just like a weird coincidence that both things happened at the same time? I have no idea. I never have any idea. But I would like to hear your opinion on this. So as always, comment below, send me an email, do all that stuff. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. And for full episodes, check out Houston Strange on YouTube or wherever you get your regular podcasts. Stay strange, Houston.